Hey Pokemon fans, Real Mama Eagle here, also known as Key, and today we're going to be ranking 7 absolutely nightmare fuel sprites from the original Generation 1 of Pokemon. These are sprites that are very disturbing that you unfortunately had to witness with your eyes multiple times in one Pokemon playthrough. The opinions in this video are my own. There may be some sprites that you find worse than the ones in this video, and if you do, talk to me in the comments section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well, and let's get started, and probably cover your eyes. Number 7, Mr. Mime. Now don't get me wrong, Mr. Mime looks creepy no matter what generation it is, because over time Mr. Mime has just been a creepy individual. But in Pokemon Gen 1, specifically Red and Blue, Mr. Mime looked his most creepy. He has like this menacing side-eye stare on his face like, I'm coming to get you. So if I saw that Mr. Mime and I was out, I probably wouldn't allow my children to be anywhere near it because it's actually very intimidating, very scary, and very creepy, and you don't know what he's plotting. Also, I have this weird fear of mimes. I don't know why, but I just don't feel comfortable around them. I think they're very strange. But Mr. Mime does not help my fear at all. Number 6, Jinx. Now, Jinx is nightmare fuel for all different reasons. It's not particularly scary, but it's literally blackface. Come on! If you look at Jinx in Gen 1, it clearly represents something that should not be represented in a game that's especially marketed at children. When I first played Gen 1 and saw Jinx, I literally did a side eye and went, I don't think that's appropriate, and it's slightly offensive, and yes, very racist. Jinx definitely belongs in this list as a nightmare fuel sprite just because when you look at it, it naturally made you uncomfortable. Now, in later generations, they did change Jinx to a sprite that had a purple face instead of a black face, making it a bit more appropriate, but I will say that over time, Jinx design has just always been poorly thought out and just very, very uncomfortable. Number 5, Ekans. Ekans Pokemon Green Sprite. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what they were thinking. It's just coiled around, wrapped around the bottom, and then when you look at it, it's literally just like, it's giving blow-up doll with a giant wide mouth open very wide, looking like it's ready to swallow any trainer and any Pokemon in the surrounding area whole. And that just makes me very uncomfortable because if I was near one, I would probably assume that that would be my last day on Earth. I'm not sure why they decided to make its mouth so big and why they decided to exaggerate that a bit, but it's just very awkward and very weird, and I'm not sure why it's even there. But Ekans is definitely a sprite that makes me very uncomfortable and is legitimate nightmare fuel. Number 4, Gengar in Pokemon Red and Blue. Have you ever seen that guy in the bar that had way too much to drink and he doesn't know his boundaries or limits and he's coming after someone that you know or possibly you? That's Gengar. Gengar is giving creepy drunk uncle vibes and he's walking towards you with his really dark appearance and he's like, hey, I'm here. And I've always just found it very uncomfortable as a sprite. Luckily, you don't really have to see it a ton as there aren't many Gengar throughout the course of the game when you battle random trainers, but it's just something that is definitely nightmare fuel because it haunts you, and it's literally being a ghost type is definitely something that can be disturbing, but I just never liked the fact that it was so overly aggressive and in your face. But that definitely makes Gengar worthy of one of the worst and creepiest sprites in Generation 1. Number 3, Exeggutor. And this is the Exeggutor from Pokemon Red and Blue. They actually made its sprite better in yellow. Thank goodness, because the Red and Blue sprite is extremely disturbing and uncomfortable. And I actually like Exeggutor as a Pokemon, but why did they make all the coconut faces on Exeggutor's tree extremely creepy? They're like, hi, how are you? I don't know why they decided to make it like that, but it's just one of those things where it was like, it gives sort of a suggestive face in a very X-rated or inappropriate manner, almost like one of those people that solicit you. But that's what Exeggutor's Gen 1 Red and Blue sprite is giving, and it just is very, 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 very weird. And I don't know why they made the faces so expressive and creepy. Number 2, Raticate. And I'm talking about Raticate from Pokemon Yellow. It's weird because Red and Blue sprites for Raticate were actually decent, and then you get to Pokemon Yellow, it goes from 2. I don't know why they decided to do that and make it twice as creepy, but the intimidation factor and Hyper Fang is definitely there. And when you see a Raticate sprite in Pokemon Yellow, you genuinely think that you're about to get bitten and probably be out for indefinite periods of time. But Raticate definitely is scary, definitely intimidating. It doesn't help that I already dislike Raticate as a Pokemon and already find it ugly and hideous as it is, but they found a way to make it more ugly. So it's definitely worthy of top 2 as far as worst and most nightmare fuel sprites. Number 1, Golbat. Now, if you played the original Gen 1, specifically Red and Blue, you know exactly what Golbat sprite I'm referring to. The creepy eyes, the teeth, the very intimidating mouth with the tongue out, as far as possible would almost make Lickitung proud, and then the spit flying everywhere and just looking like it's ready to end your life. That Golbat Sprite is definitely nightmare fuel. But it's not just the Sprite that's bad. It's the fact that out of all the nightmare fuel sprites, you see it the most. Because if you play Team Rocket, fight Team Rocket later in the games where they have the admins and the higher ups, they tend to have Golbats because that's the main Pokemon they use besides Raticate and Ekans, etc. But if you go into caves late in the game, you're also going to see that Golbat. So it's the worst Sprite because it's got the most creepy and overdone design, and the fact that you have to see it more than anything else. And that's what makes it number one. I want to know what sprites you find nightmare fuel, whether in Generation 1 or any of the other generations as well. Talk to me in the comments section down below and give me your input, because there are some great sprites out there and then there's some scary ones like the ones in this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. Don't forget that I'm Real Mama Eagle on all social media platforms, and I do live streams at twitch.tv/RealMamaEagle. Thank you so much for watching and look forward to my next video. I'll see you soon.